these hydropower resources in the face of increasing anthropogenic climate destabilization is the right thing to do. And you know, and endangered salmon populations, sorry.
Unless there was another
have to
solution
go.
that was presented. I think that if it were
Endangered salmon populations and treaty rights too. They both have to go. They both have to be discarded.
Well,
Treaty obligations sworn to by our ancestors need to be abandoned, and Endangered Species Act concerns need to be abandoned because of anthropogenic climate destabilization. Is that it?
I don't get me wrong. I am all for saving salmon. I'm all for taking out the dams regarding like the lack of energy they produce. But from a purely empirical standpoint, I think that's exactly how the government operates, and I think that's exactly how the argument would be made is they would say in order to take these out, you must provide empirical proof that the salmon would recover and that this would do good because currently we are offsetting global coal emissions by X amount.
And you can't provide that proof. So, it's spectacular though when I hear this. You're right, man, you're absolutely right, and there are people who think exactly like this and talking, this is how they would approach the tribes too. But I could just picture that meeting. And I could picture, and I could think and I could just try to imagine being that indigenous elder who's being told this, right? That my millennia honored, time honored traditions have to be abandoned. And the rights that I thought that my ancestors protected for me are now going to be discarded because an industrial society that I didn't really join to begin with has committed all these environmental harms to the planet. And so to save the planet, we have to sacrifice my rights and my environment, right? And this seems like a really tough thing for a person to swallow, you know? Yeah, it's just amazing, right? I mean, at the very least, one can be fascinated. Anyway, I thought we were going to go home early, and some people did. They just decided to be unilateralists and just go home early on their own. So we'll start our weekend, and we'll do social ecology next week. All right, so everybody have a good weekend. And I'll keep working on this and figure out how this is all going to go with our final project. And if you want to write a paper, let me know. I mean, if you want to do the written final exam, then let me know. All right?
So you need to email me about that?
Yeah, that'd be great, yeah. That'll give you a rough idea of how many people are going to be available for the presentation. No, I'm sorry. I'll try to do that over the week. Actually, I won't. You know what I get to do this weekend? I get to go watch my daughter graduate.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah. From USF.
Nice.
Fortunately, my father and grandmother had a bunch of money stocked away in a college savings fund, you know, so she's able to afford that. Not because of me, though. Wow, man, that was a very fruitful discussion that we had just now, wasn't it? It's kind of scary. That's what it's coming to. But he's right.
Maybe you have too much faith in people.
I do.
Depends on your view of the details, in my opinion. Like, I mean, from a strictly sustainable, like, pretend there's no salmon, we should get rid of the dams from a strictly sustainable, like, out with the old and with the new, like, in with the new. But, you know, like, I mean, what's going to happen if there's an earthquake? I mean, it's massive.
Ancient technology.
Oh, those dams are history in an earthquake, huh?
Yeah, so from what we know geologically, shouldn't we remove them even if there are no salmon? You could argue for that.
Yeah, those alien anthropologists are going to be appalled when they see that.
Especially when they find out what Nikola Tesla was.
Yeah, when they learn how much knowledge we had at our disposal that we didn't use. Yeah.
Oh, well, let me tell you about Fermi's paradox, which is that it's probably likely that if aliens exist, they aren't going to come here. Because, like...
It's too
No.
far.
I mean, there's like... We haven't found anything so far, and we've been looking for so long. And there's something horrible, doggy.
We have
Yeah, we have.
what, 50 years?
I thought ecology would be popular. People all wanna be
We
decolonized.
just got into space, man, it hasn't been that long.
Well, okay, I'm remembering it wrong. What it actually is that, like, the only way that we would be able to detect signs of another civilization, short of them coming here, would be from basically radio signals that they would have. Sort of like radio signals that we send out.
What if they're above that? What if they're like way advanced past radio signals?
Well then we
just
don't
it.
see, then we wouldn't see them, and we're not putting out as many radio signals anymore, so they wouldn't be able to see us.
What if they
And the
just
radio
see
signals get
What
distorted
if the radio
further
signal
out.
is just an alert, like, oh, whoa, stay away from those guys, they're still on radio signals.
Anyway, Dr. Mulier,
Maybe,
no, you're just.
I thought that, you know, maybe there's some life form out there that eats electronic equipment, and then on their planet, the fast food store would be called Radio Snack.
Dr. Mulier, I had a question. Since I was gonna write.
at Radio Snack, mommy.
Yeah, I was gonna write the term paper on the four snake dams. Per your recommendation that I trim it down from like the whole shebang. So would that mean that I would not be able to also do the like final as a group presentation?
No, you can do both, dude, absolutely, man, yeah.
Okay, would I
Yeah,
need to would I need to take like say write one position for the paper and then take a different one for the